Blog Talk Radio.
If I'm gonna become Santa, then I need some reindeer. The Grinch. Please hit the mother load.
Good evening to all my brothers and sisters. Welcome, of course, to the Hammer Lane Broadcast Network here, of course, at the Fubar American Radio Show, with great appreciation to each and every single one of you. Coming at you, of course, out of the Mobile Groupie Command Center over here, mobile in Tifton, Georgia. Jojo Barreto, live, of course, with my great friend, Live Free or Die, Fighting John Grosvenor. How are you doing today, my brother?
I'm well, Joe. How are you doing, bud?
Oh, I'm just trying like everybody else. Of course, our great producer, who we can always appreciate very much, Miss Arlene Bennett. How are you doing today, my dear? And she remains silent. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Any case, my friends.
I mean, she was busy.
Our show. That means she was busy. That's okay. Our show is actually sponsored, my friends, with great appreciation with MyRightLoad.com, my friends. MyRightLoad.com is bringing financial freedom back in style for any of you who are looking for a direct service load board that will get you hooked basically up with the direct receiver, shipper and receiver. There it is right there, my friends. MyRightLoad.com, MyRightLoad.com, my friends. Definitely come back and get the financial freedom that you absolutely and truly deserve. And we got to give great appreciation to our new sponsor, LabWorksUSA.com, my friends. LabWorksUSA.com is available in all 50 states. It is most important, my friends, to always consider your drug consortium compliance, because you definitely don't want the man to be knocking on your door to making sure that you are compliant for your drug consortium, my friends. Nationwide availability, DOT drug testing, also availability for an annual membership fee of $49.95, and it also offers a free training program for those that have 2 or more drivers available in their company. Please, by all means, definitely come give them a call, my friends. Telephone number is 1-888-582-8001. LabWorksUSA.com, my friends. Greatly appreciate MyRightLoad.com as well as LabWorks USA to being a great sponsor to the Fubar American Radio Show. And as we are all here today, my friends, we need to bring ourselves among a lift of spirit. I understand there's a lot of Fubar that's going on out there, and we'll definitely be talking a lot of Fubar, but understand that when we are traveling throughout the highways, and I can only appreciate those that message me directly. Just last week, a good friend of mine had messaged me a great video that I had seen on YouTube, and honestly, I can't even help playing this song almost every single day, sometimes even twice a day. It's very uplifting, and these are the type of things that we really need on the road, especially when we're coming close to the holidays and we're away from our families, working so dedicatingly hard as we always do. And there is a great man that he's sung this song, and he has a great story, my friends, a story of absolute true conviction. And that's one of the great things that we're going to be also talking about. But one of the other main topics that we'll be talking about today also is how apathetic how apathetic among our society has realistically become. You know, it's a matter of not only just being apathetic, it's also a matter of complacent. And we know that new technology is supposed to be implemented as a tool. And we can always try to either, it could be a trusted tool or unreliable tool, but just as a tool, more or less. But have we allowed those tools to kind of take over our everyday life? And that's one of the other subjects that we'll be talking about. But I have and hope we have the honor of having our guest online. Miss Arlene or John, can you see if we by any chance got telephone number 5080 online?
Yes, he's already in queue. Now, I want to explain something to John since he's got the board up. John, you see how we're in red? There's 3 of us in red. Okay? Mm-hmm. The next one is got a question mark, and that's Ed. So I'm going to bring him in, and what you do is click on that little black box, and hopefully it works. And mine's not working, John, so you try it. Click
All
on
right.
that box.
I got it.
Next. Okay.
Well, while we're getting him on board, my friends, Mr. Eddie B. at a New Conviction Life Church out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, my friends. We have a great honor of having him on board. Hopefully he's online right now. Mr. Eddie B., are you with us, my friend?
Joe, I am here, man, and I appreciate all that you guys are doing and continue to do, man. I just love the opportunity, man, to let people know and share what God has done in our life and what he continues to do through our music and through the ministry that God's blessed us with.
Thank you very much, sir. I can only tell you that there's been at least twice a day that I've listened to your music. It's compelling. It's actually got a lot of truth behind it, and there's a unique story behind your music as well as your ministry that I would hope maybe you would want to share with us. I know you did a good video on that, but would you mind sharing among the truth among what a lot of people are going through, especially nowadays with all of the spread among the, you know what I'm saying, more or less.
Sure. Well, I mean, the song that you're talking about is Holy Ghost Fire, and that song actually was written. My son was a drug addict. He was strung out on heroin. And he actually knocked on my front door, man, and I was like, God, please bring my son home. And God brought my son home, and he got saved. And then, he's a very talented young kid, man. And so we put out that song, Holy Ghost Fire, to just to inspire people, man, to lift them up, man. And, that's really what we need. We need a fire, man, to burn away this world, because this world is constantly attacking us daily to try to take away the valuable thing that God has given to us. And I don't know if it's in your yard or not, but it's in my yard where, man, I mean, every day, man, it's fighting to try to take my peace and trying to take away my joy. And, the Bible says, man, that I war against this flesh daily. So Holy Ghost Fire, man, is a place of just where get rid of that fire, man. Get rid of that worldly attitude. Put that fire of God within inside of me and burn away them things that are interfering with my walk in Christ.
That's an amazing story because, the needle can be very strong to be able to fight against, and it's being spread throughout the entire country. And, John, you realize that, too, up in your land of New Hampshire, Canada. No, I'm sorry. I don't mean to say it like that, but I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. But either way or not, it's attacking in all 4 corners all of our world in general. And I understand it because, I've had a lot of my friends and family that had to go through a very long and hard fight against the needle, and you probably really understand it. What would be, when you come to realize, I don't want to ask this question too much in detail, but I want to be fair. Like, when you have somebody you really care and love the most, and you want to do what you can to help them, what would be your best piece of advice to give that start, more or less? Like, aside from praying to God in every way you can possible, which obviously brought your son, but what would be your next step, more or less?
Well, for me, we do a lot of this, man, constantly throughout the year. We have a prison ministry that travels about 350 units a year, and we deal with a lot of drug addicts, and I myself was a drug addict. You know, one of the things that I can say, man, is that Jesus left the 99 for one. I don't want to sound too preachy here, but, you know, Jesus left the 99 for one, man. I really get that, man. Sometimes, man, you got to leave 99 things, man, to get that one, you know, to chase after that one. And I'd say for people out there that are struggling with loved ones or somebody else that's on drugs, man, you got to be that one. So you got to go searching. You can't give up, man. You got to consistently let them know that you love them no matter what they're into. Of course, I don't condone what they do, but I definitely let them know, man, that I'm there for them. And I think that's important that we know, or that they know that we're really there for them. So I think that would be the one, you know, be that one.
Your ministry does a lot of reach out to the prisons, you were saying before, and I read a little bit about that as well. And that's a tough struggle, but I'm sure you've saved quite a few people along the way in the path and everything. And you know, I can only appreciate that very much. And my favorite Bible verse would be like Hebrews chapter 3, verse 3. You know, treat among yourself as among a prisoner to those who are among prison themselves. And, you know, it's one of the things that I take them to value a lot among that particular Bible verse. You know, there's different translations.
Actually our motto. That's actually our motto for our ministry, Hebrews 13:3. It's written all over our truck and everything else that we have. Man, we put Hebrews 13:3. You know, remember the prison as though you're in prison with them. I mean, you know, it's pretty ironic that, you know, God himself comes down on this earth and he says, hey, man, remember the prisoner as though you're in prison with them. Most people would think, hey, those people deserve to be there, but God's mercy, that's how merciful God really is. And I don't know if you know this or not, but the word penitentiary actually comes from the word repentance. God built this place of repentance because a lot of these people were going to hell, brother. I mean, that's the truth. And God built places of repentance, and many men find God in those places. We're blessed to be a part of that.
You can only appreciate that. So there's an extensive reach out going through there. I mean, have you had any, like, I mean, how successful has your reach out program been so far? Or do you think that the state or anybody could really do a little more to be able to help your ministry out? Is there a website perhaps we could look at and help your ministry be able to reach out?
I mean, I can give some information about what we're doing, which, you know, we've been doing this for 26 years. And, you know, we average about 350 units a year. One of the things that we are doing right now, man, we are actually opening up the only missions college in the United States, building missionaries to send them into the prison system. And God gave me a dream that I would be in every prison system in the United States, and I believe this is the catalyst for that dream, is to have this center open. Now we're supposed to open up January 1st and start taking in students, and we're only going to house 12 students at a time. And, you know, they can go to my website. They can look underneath the Discipleship Center. It's called Conviction Training Center, and they can look up that. They can also they can donate if they want to donate. I mean, we have a donate button right there. I mean, or you can buy our music. I mean, that's another way to support us. A lot of people buy our music because, man, our music is it's been a blessing, brother. I'll be honest with you. It's an incredible journey that God's allowed me to do all these years, and to be able to continue.
Yeah. For many in the trucking industry, nobody's perfect. Everybody's had their past and their problems, and you know they've met with their struggles. And some in the trucking industry, you know, they met with those hurdles actually becoming truck drivers themselves. I mean, do you think there's any related programs, for instance, that we can maybe even help bring fellow truck driving training to them, perhaps, and giving them a chance in life? And you know, of course, if the crime is not severe and they've met up with the requirements that are needed, but do you think that could be a outreach or help somehow in the industry in itself?
Absolutely. I mean, we help out people daily, brother. There's no doubt about it. If somebody contacts our ministry and says, "Hey, look, I need some help," we will reach out to them and help them. If somebody says, "Hey, man, I want discipleship, but I can't come to your college," we have avenues to help them get discipleship. Especially on the road, as you know, trucking. I mean, I've got a brother of mine that was in our ministry for several years, and that's what he's doing now, is traveling throughout the United States on a truck, ministering the gospel to the other truck drivers. So
that's
we have
very
other
helpful.
avenues. Yes. So we have have avenues that we can help out people. I mean, my number is right there on my website. It's not hard to miss, that's for sure. And they can contact us or contact us via email.
So
either way. Well,
your brother's probably pretty familiar with a lot of the things that the people in the trucking industry are going through with the ELD mandate, all the overburdening regulations and everything else. I mean, I don't want to say if he was on the show, I'd ask how he personally felt about it. But many of us are really struggling very, very hard right now with the broker freight rates being as down as they are, and they're just trying to do whatever they can, especially now to provide for their families in Christmas. Could you be kind enough to give like a good prayer out there for all of our drivers out there, including myself, because I'm not afraid to say how much I believe and love God and love my family and country and everything. And, would it be possible if you could do that for us, my friend? And then after that, thank you.
Well, Heavenly Father, we just come before you right now, Lord, in the name of Jesus. And God, I don't know a lot about the trucking industry. My friend knows extremely a lot. He's done it for 20 years. And Lord, there's a lot going on, Father God, behind the scenes that people don't even realize. And Lord, first off, I ask you to just put warring angels around all these truckers that are driving, Father God, through the weather, through the storms, and Lord, so we can have food on our tables. I ask that, God, that you just give them a special blessing, that tonight, somehow or another, some truck driver would probably even hear this show and hear this prayer and want to make a commitment to Christ, that he knows that out there, the only way he needs to make it is through Christ. And Lord, I know that that road can be a very lonely, lonely road, because I travel 7 months out of the year myself. I don't drive an 18-wheeler, but I do drive a truck. And Lord, I know hotel rooms and truck places and just the monotony of it. But Lord, I pray that you'll give them a refreshing fire, Lord, a Holy Ghost fire that'll quicken them and give them the stamina to continue that journey. What they believe God's called them to do is to drive truck for this country. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that very much, and I think a lot of us will really get some great inspiration onto that. I know your time is very limited. I really appreciate you coming on board, my friend, by every means, because I know Thursdays is a very busy day for you. You're getting out there to reaching out for many of our brothers and sisters out there. I'm honored and greatly appreciative that you made the time to come on the show. And most importantly, just to get the outreach among what you're doing out there for everybody, especially those that have been afflicted among a very strong disease that I know personally many people that have fallen into the heavens on. And I know by every bit of my heart that I think you're doing a great mission for everybody out there. And I want to give you my humble thanks for everything you do.
Well, thank you for allowing me to be on the show and express how we feel. And I do continue to pray, man, that that your show would be just truly, truly impacting that community, because I don't think a lot of people are trying to impact that community because they don't think about that. It's kind of like this. If there's a light bulb on in somebody's house, you don't really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's in your house, you have a tendency to think about it. So I appreciate you bringing the truckers to the forefront and allow people to see what's going on. So thank you so much, and thanks for having me on the show.
God bless. I want to play your song if you don't mind, and if you don't mind as well, like every once in a while, I like to play your music, through Facebook Live and on the show if I have your permission to do so. And I just want people to get the word out. I greatly appreciate that, my friend.
Absolutely.
John, do we have his song queued up by any chance, my brother?
I don't have it ready just yet. I'm working on it. Let's play it at the bottom of the hour. Will that work for you?
Okay.
I hope.
That'll work for me. Okay, not a problem. That's not a problem.
There's some things that
Mr. Eddie
as people can tell, we're working some things out as we're new to this board and new to this programming here. So.
Well, do you have any questions, John, by any chance, or anything you want to say out there to Mr. Eddie B? Appreciate it by all means.
I loved hearing his story, man. I thought it was awesome. I love what he does. Like you said earlier, man, God is awesome. I mean, if it wasn't for God, none of us would exist, right? God is it, man. I mean, I'm all about it. I'm a type of person myself to just confirm what he's saying as far as God goes. God is real. And it's all about that relationship with God. We each have our individual relationship with God. We need to focus in on that, hone in on that, and that is what makes life work for us. When we do that, He will lead us through the path of life. And I appreciate Eddie coming on and talking about God today. It was very nice.
You got it. Well, thank you guys so much, and I look forward to maybe doing this again, okay?
Thank you again.
Sure
We'll
thing,
definitely
man.
play your music, my friend.
You got it. God bless y'all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bless you too.
Mr. Eddie.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Eddie B., ladies and gentlemen, coming out of the New Conviction Church at Albuquerque, New Mexico, my friends. I meant to ask him, actually. You can look him up online, and I'm sure you'll be able to get a few phone calls or even send an email out to him, ask him whether if you can maybe come on by and listen to his sermons as well, because I think that's a very important, uplifting. I always wish that I can go to church almost every Sunday. I know we have the Truckers Chapel, usually located on the Petros and the Flying J's, and some of them even on the TAs. And, me personally, I mean, I have a great church that I go to whenever I'm home. And my good friend, Pastor Dwayne over there, I mean, we call him P. Diddy, because he's just, that close of a good relationship that we have to him. And he's met with his great struggles. But when I get back home soon enough, it will help me inspire a lot to be getting to church as much as I possibly can, because we all need it out here with a lot of the things that are going on, a lot of the conflictions that we are going through as well, a lot of the changes in the trucking industry that it's just, we can look at it one way, but we got to look at it also in a more positive way. We got to be prepared among those changes, and that's why we can only appreciate those changes that are coming within the industry that could benefit us if we utilize under a proper tool like it should be, that technology in itself should be. But it seems that our society wants to continue to basically be more self-reliant among that tool than using what God has gifted us with, and that is among our own minds. And if there's a day that it comes down to, like, we were talking earlier, John, I was even having a little bit of a problem even just trying to calculate my fuel savings that I was getting going on with my truck after all the work that I'd done. And then, just every day it seems to be just more and more less relying on the phone or technology instead of just using that piece of paper and just even trying to figure the equations out more or less. But it's a tool that you could utilize to make your job easier in life as long as it doesn't consume among your best thinking. There's an interesting fact that I've always wanted to share, John. There was a study in New York that was done by NYU, and for more drivers, taxi cab drivers specifically, that when they utilize their GPSs, they made a study between those that utilize the GPS and then, of course, those who have been experienced and used their own mind to travel into New York City. Well, they found that a reduction, just great reduction among the odds of those that don't rely on the GPS technology from Alzheimer's disease, from those that use their own mind rather than using the GPS system itself. Huge reduction, a percentage of those that use among their own minds rather than using the GPS to take people back and forth, A and B, out of the taxi cabs. What do you think of that, John?
Well, I'm trying. What do you mean by reduction? That they function better? They have a better retention of memory, such like that?
The chances, honestly, of them getting Alzheimer's disease, it was greatly reduced. From
huge
those.
reduction. I'm sorry. Yeah. A lot of scientists or doctors have made statements and declarations about this. I believe they've had studies. I can't quote any of them directly, but they did have some studies in regard to technology. In fact, I think a lot of your Bill Gates and people such as that have also reiterated on it, that using technology is affecting the way people think. And now our dependence on technology is actually the down of society, because we're relying on technology to do the work for us. How many kids now are using computers in school? If you say, show it to me on paper, they couldn't do it. They can't do math in their heads. They can't do math on a piece of paper, but they can do it in a calculator. It's ridiculous.
Speaking about education system, it is ridiculous, and that's one of the things that I have a lot of worry about, especially the way how our education system itself continuously carries itself. American history, almost gone. Hardly any education system really talks or even teaches anything about about our American history. It's more teaching about sociology, which is like world science more or less, and other subject matters like my niece, for instance, that attends Rutgers University, being taught, and you have something figured out as well that I want you to share. But she says basically her sociology professor teaches all her students that in 40 years, any type of manual labor job, not just trucking, but any type of manual labor job, we're talking tellers, cashiers, so you name it, anything among warehousing itself, will be completely and absolutely 100% automated. This is what they're teaching in our future generation. And I look at it, I'm like, with the frown face, and she's like, well, what's the matter? You worried? I was like, heck yeah, I'm worried. I'm worried about the jobs. I'm worried about where people are going to be working. I mean, technology does have its purpose and its place. It's inevitable. But you came across something where you believe that even that technology would probably come up even faster, that probably within the next, 5 to 10 years, you were thinking?
And we talking about autonomous trucks or?
Yes, autonomous trucks.
Technology in general. Autonomy with trucks, I believe it's coming quicker than a lot of people are saying, and I think that's just placating towards us in regards to our concerns for autonomy. But I think it's coming a lot quicker. I think within the next 5 years we're going to see full-bore autonomy. What was it entirely that made me say that earlier? Was something we were talking about earlier, and I don't recall it. Ryder is involved in it. They've been doing a lot of real life testing on the roads, and I'm drawing a blank, and I hate it when I do that.
No, well, we were talking about it because it's already out there. We already got Ryder with contracted to Frigidaire that only took them about 18 months to retrofit basically a truck. And Ryder says has a full commitment to really invest to try to expand the program as much as possible. And they're riding right now as we speak from Texas to California, delivering all Frigidaire products. Yep.
Mm-hmm. No, the fact that they're writing, they're as soon as you said writing, the fact that they're changing the language with the FMCSA and they're entering the word operator now, and they're moving forward on that now, gives you an indication that within the next 5 years we're probably going to have full bore operations going on. Probably won't be coast to coast so much. I expect it's going to start out west. Well, you are seeing a lot out west now, and probably less congested roadways and stuff like that is where you'll see it developing. I-35 corridor, things like that. Maybe Vegas, LA type of stuff. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they'd run it into LA or something right now. But as it grows, it's going to expand and become more aggressive. I'd imagine over here on the East Coast, you're not going to see it right away because of the population and the threat of using it. I mean, they have program. Elaine Chao made that statement in her speech.
Right.
Well, they did.
Well, they test piloted that program from California. Yeah, California all the way to Jacksonville, Florida. It didn't meet completely with all success, but they still actually were able to have that truck, autonomous truck, somewhat autonomous, if I should say, because they still had somebody inside the truck, and it drove pretty much by itself, even though it had a few hiccups here and there, but from California all the way to Jacksonville, Florida. And like I said, they only put this truck together within 18 months. So that's quite amazing in that part of it, and that feat, which is really sad in a way because that's where we were talking about where they say 40 years, almost every manual labor job will be almost obsolete. I don't think mechanics will. I don't think engineers will. I think there's going to be technicians that are going to have to handle the technology. And another question would be is who would fuel these trucks if you really think about it?
I imagine service centers will modify in that regard. And as they pull up the fueling stations, or maybe they'll set them up so they can carry more fuel. But I imagine as they pull up the fueling stations, they'll have the autonomy set up that they can pull right up to the pumps, and somebody will come out and fuel the truck. I'm sure they'll have communications as far as electronic communications with the pump, so it transfers all the data that's needed right to the pump. I mean, I'm speculating, of course, but I'd imagine that's how that's going to work. I'd rather not see it at all. You know how I am. But we're right at the bottom of the hour, man. We're at 7:30 or so. Let's play this song here. Let's get into this song this guy has, and then I got it here. The first. Let's see if I can skip over 30 seconds. I'm not sure yet because I think the first 30 seconds is talk. Let me see what I can do with this. We'll come back and we'll pick it. I had something to pick it up, but
well, I'd like
let
to
me
know
see.
also what.
I get this going. Let's see. Play button.
Basically, what John's trying to do is queue up on this song from Mr. Eddie B. We can only greatly appreciate the music in which he has done out of the New Conviction Life Church, out of the New Conviction Life Church out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's really trying to do everything they can to help those from prison and from jail to be able to seek among a great new life and redemption with God and be able to have their salvation.
Got a Holy Ghost fire burning bright. Got a Holy Ghost fire burning bright. I got a Holy Ghost fire burning bright. I got a Holy Ghost fire burning bright. I ain't gonna let no devil put out my fire. God gave me my assignment. Wherever I go, He said, live without fire. We want more. Give us more. Give us more. We want more. Turn it up. Oh, turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn that fire up in me. If you put me in an ocean, I'll burn it dry. All because of God, all living inside of me. I got a Holy Ghost fire burning bright. I got a Holy Ghost fire burning bright. I got a Holy Ghost fire burning bright. And I plan on doing some damage tonight. I don't think you're gonna like what I gotta say, but I gotta say what I gotta say. You've been sleeping too long. You need to get up, get out on that grave. Come on, everybody, what do you want? What do you want? We want more. Give us more. Give us more. We want more. Turn it up. Oh, turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn that fire up in me. If you put me in an ocean, I'll burn it dry. All because of God, all living inside of me. Oh, lay your hands upon my head. Anoint me with your oil. That's why my fire won't go out. Oh, no, no. That's why my fire won't go out. Turn it up. Oh, turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn that fire up in me. Turn it up. Oh, turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn that fire up in me. I got a Holy Ghost fire. I got a Holy Ghost fire inside of me.
That, my friends, was from Eddie B. Holy Ghost of Fire. love that song. I mean, I played that song throughout the whole entire week. I can only appreciate all you guys out there that are just sending the messages like that. Please keep them coming, because I probably would have never heard. Well, probably would have came across it on YouTube, but I greatly appreciate everybody sending in those messages like that, because the first time I heard that one came in, I was like, man, what a voice that Eddie B has. And I said, I got to get this guy on. And John, you pretty much seen how excited I was about that one. What do you think?
Oh yeah, that's a good song, man. I enjoy it. I like that, a little bit of passion in there. You know what I mean?
I hear you. So, what's going on in your home state over there, by the way? Just want to let you know, in New Hampshire, by the way, with Amazon and Alexa.
Oh my God, you heard about that, huh? Jeez. Yeah, that judge, he decided that it was okay to subpoena the information from Amazon to get the recordings from Amazon in that murder case. It was a double murder case up here in New Hampshire a while back ago. And apparently, I guess Amazon records everything that you say. It goes to cloud or something, and so they wanted to acquire that information from Amazon for the prosecution. But I'm thinking to myself, geez, wait a minute. If I'm in my home and I do have an Alexa, and my wife has one, I bought it for her for Christmas. I did it to myself, Joe. I bought her Alexa for Christmas. I did it to myself. So now this thing, every time I'm in there arguing with my wife, it's recording my argument and it's going to upload it to cloud. It sounds like we're being spied on in our own home. That we're doing it to ourselves. We buy these things. I don't remember any disclosure statement when that thing was bought. I don't remember seeing anything in the directions or anything anywhere that said, oh, yeah, we're going to record all your conversations and upload it to cloud, and it's going to be there for I don't know how long, indefinitely, or I don't know. From my understanding, that's how it works. Did you get that when you read that article?
Well, apparently the judge had ordered Amazon to turn over any recordings that the Echo device has made back from January 27th, when the woman was killed, until January 29th, and when the police discovered, tucked beneath the tarp underneath a pouch. The court found that it's probable cause to believe that the server had maybe recorded or maintained and contained records that may have been on the Echo Smart speaker from the period between January 27th and the 29th of 2017. Such information may contain evidence of crime committed against Ms. Sullivan, including the attack and possibly removing the body out of the kitchen area, because the Alexa device was actually in the kitchen area. Which was really sad was 2 souls, unfortunately, are among the heavens from a double murder. But see, now this adds another question where I said technology among a tool itself, but now people would think that when they call out Alexa, that there would be this beep and she would say, hello, this is Alexa, and that would be the only time when it would record or hear it. But apparently, Alexa is actually on constant record. Like you said, it goes and submits information through Bluetooth and cloud, and it came to where a point of where the judge said, I'm going to place a court order to obtain and subpoena on all the records in between those dates. So as many people out there that just don't want to have a recording device in their homes or in their vehicles, as unfortunately we have a recording device as an ELD. And the fact now the question comes down to is, what about the hackability among Alexa itself? How secure could that realistically be? Now, I'm not telling people to go out there and unplug their Alexas, but I'm saying that, it creates that question that a lot of people are asking about right now. And this is a forte that you specialize in.
Well, let's see. I just punched something up here, and I'm pulling the window up now, but apparently, well, don't have the words. Hang on just a second. Is your Amazon Alexa spying on you? What I read on this is not that it's considered an always-on device, but it's not necessarily always recording your conversation. This is coming from Amazon or PolitiFact.com. So, according to them, it's not always on. I mean, it's always on. It's not always recording everything. So it only records what you want it to record, apparently, or when you call out to it to look something up, say a song or a recipe or. Okay, I'm having computer difficulties. Anyway, I remember that there was a case a while back ago where a couple was having a conversation and they were talking about some friends, and I guess they weren't exactly talking very well of them. For whatever reason, they were upset with their friends, and when they called out their names, the Alexa had called their friend's home. So the friend picks up the phone and you heard the entire conversation. So incidents may happen using such devices.
We have a caller on the line. I heard the doorbell ringing. Miss Arlene, who do we got on the line?
That. I don't.
Yeah, Ted wants to come in. That bell, I didn't know if you saw the little question mark lit up, John. So I rang the bell.
Oh, I see
so
it. Sure do.
Okay, so Ted
okay,
wants to come in.
Hey, right. JoJo. Hey, John.
Hey,
Ted. How you
Ted.
doing, bud?
All right. Y'all having a good show so far, enjoying it. But talking about that Alexa deal, this ain't the first time that they've tried to use that technology, trying to catch somebody in a crime. Because back here, I think maybe last year or something like that, they had someone that was murdered and was drowned in the bathtub, and the Alexa picked it up as well. So they used that one time before. This has already been used one time. So this ain't nothing extremely new. It's just something new, at the moment. But the time that I've heard of them using that. And
I would like to inform all of you that whatever goes on that cloud stays on that cloud unless the cloud is totally destroyed. And we have a bunch of people who has put videos on that cloud and have put recorded messages from the federal buildings and stuff. So they just best watch their butt.
Yep, that's what I was going to say. Anything you do on Facebook, anything you do in any social media, it's stored out there, and if you do get like in a crime, that's how they profile you. They'll look at what your social habits are, and then they'll profile you from that. It might not be who you are, maybe somebody you're acting like, but you get in trouble, they're going to profile you from the get-go. And all the information is out there stored in the cloud, like Arlene said. And also,
I believe
smartphone.
that to be correct.
The thing about it,
I know
is how
having
the majority of people that don't like to have any type of device, but yet rely on it among a tool, and they have it in their home, but then yet it's not like the first time, because they've had incidences with even televisions with the camera that were placed onto there, and then somebody would be having the capability of hacking into that camera and be able to see you watching television. And that question would be like, when it comes to your home, now imagine almost 3.5 million truck drivers traveling across the United States right now. Some among those truck drivers have that same camera. They're basically, now I can't say if they're pointed back to the bunk. It could be. We'd be more than happy to please call in and say if there's been any type of camera that's been pointed to the back of the bunk area, but normally those cameras are actually pointed to the driver's seat. The excuse and what they use for that for is, especially when they have team operations, they will be their verifiable proof that, God forbid, among an incident, that there has been a different driver among that seat, or that driver has been within the hour of service that they are supposed to follow by. So that's still a camera pointed among 11 hours of drive time towards the driver's seat, and then here is a driver that lives in the truck. And so I want to kind of give the comparison to the public of what all our drivers are going through right now, to where there's a camera as well as even a listening device almost 24/7 when you're inside the bunk of that truck. Now
I'm
imagine
gonna say something
where people don't like that at home.
I want to say something off the record. I don't have this right at my moment, right at hand to back this up. But I do believe there was an instance where a rear-facing camera did catch a husband and wife team with the wife naked in the sleeper. I do think that did happen. So I'll have to go back and pull that up. I think I read it in an article a few months ago when it was all a big thing about the cameras. So I was going to bring up the camera situation. There's just so many things, that are going on in the truck industry with rear-facing cameras, and then, here the things are, like you said, with the TV, with the Alexas. Public are not liking, the stuff that they're buying. They're not liking the technology because it's actually spying on them. They're not liking it. But then they're going to Congress and voting for people to vote for this stuff for us, for the ELD, voting for the rear-facing cameras, and also people. If people don't realize this, but almost everyone in America now has one, a smartphone. Smartphones have GPS in them, and all you have to do is, somebody think it might be you, give them your phone number. The police want to find you. They'll punch up. They'll call and get the paperwork, and they'll get your number and everything from the phone company, and they can pinpoint exactly where you're at and where you traveled from, and what times that phone's been on every time you've used it.
Unless you shut GPS off. If you shut that GPS off, a lot of the smartphones, you can shut it off. Shut it off, and it's your best bet. I know mine's been running for 3 weeks, but that's because my daughter wants to make sure she knows where I'm at.
There's a problem with that, though, Miss Arlene, to be honest with you. Even if you shut the GPS system realistically off, there's still another procedure you have to follow by onto that. And at any time when you go to the Google Play Store and you accept a new app, and then all of a sudden the app will ask you whether we can attach or locate for the services and what you're requiring for through your GPS, and you say, you don't really read the whole thing, you say allow it. Next thing you know, your GPS system is automatically almost turned on again. If you're, let's say you decided to go on any type of taxi cab service that I don't want to name the mention of on the show because they're not advertising, so either way or not. And in any case, if you needed their location service, all of a sudden you just don't read the whole prompt and you just say allow it, and all of a sudden your GPS is turned right back on again. And that's just where I'm saying where people are complacent and apathetic enough to not even really take the time to just even read a small paragraph prompt that will come up in the tool of a phone. And all of a sudden, here's your GPS location coming on again.
Right. But, if anybody knows anything about Google, no matter what you do, like I have Google for my Facebook, and that's basically my browser. They have every minute and second of where you go, what you look at, and everything. And you can't stop it unless you get another browser.
Or get another phone number, because everything you've done on your Google account, it'll follow you from phone to phone. Every time you use Google, if you use Google the same time, the same account, everything will follow you. And then, if you change phones and change phone numbers, and it'll pick up as you. And then that's how come you get so many hits on your phone, with all these advertisements. When with the merger that happened here, Google and all that, they started putting advertisements on your phone. My phone will go ding, and it's just an advertisement comes up on my home screen, telling me, go buy a new car or go check out whatever this is, that they're selling. It just comes up on my phone on my home screen, and then I got to take it off. But that's what I agreed to, though, when I got a Google account, my Google and Facebook account. When I agreed to that, that's part of the terms that I get. Or I get interrupted in a video or something, watching a video, I'll get interrupted and have a commercial come in there.
Well, there's been a security
actually
expert
free.
that has shown that. They've shown that basically that even if you turn off the Google location system onto it, for your mapping especially, that they still can even track you through that phone system if you don't follow a particular process, in which I'm going to look for, and I'm going to annotate that on the Fubar American Radio News channel page and let people know about this, because there's a lot of people out there that think when you just turn off that GPS locator on your phone that you're still not necessarily being tracked, when you really are. And it's even a lot easier when I said before, when you go into the Google Play Store and all of a sudden you apply just for an app and then all of a sudden your Google system is already just turned right on again, and then you're getting located. But the thing is, not to get off track, but, you know, the fact that where people among the general public that don't like to be tracked, that don't like to be monitored, they don't like to be, they want their personal life, but yet here's 3.5 million truck drivers that have to sacrifice that privacy in itself away from when they're on the road, and they live out on the road. And these trucks, like my truck especially, is our home away from home. And all of a sudden we are monitored by every mile, every second that we drive. And we got to live with that every day by, unfortunately, a law to all of us. So I want to make a comparison, or at least to make an example to the public that could be listening, and I hope many could listen, to where that's what we are going through every single day of our lives whenever we're in our trucks. And we have to get permission, most or less, to use our truck as a personal conveyance to go to the store and to go to either a doctor's appointment or to go and do something that we wanted to do personally. For many of the owner-operators that own our equipment and spend thousands and thousands of dollars each month out of their own pocket, out of their own accord. And here we are. We have to be monitored and tracked 24/7 while we're driving out on the road. But yet, if that's on your home, that would be a completely different story, I'm assuming, to the public, right?
Yep, that's what I was going to say too. You know, most owner operators, you know, that stay out on the road and everything, like you're saying, they stay up for long periods of time, or if they're going right back out, you know, if they got a doctor's appointment, you know, they'll just go drop trailer at the yard, and then they'll just bobtail over there to the doctor's appointment or wherever they got to do and take care of their business. But that little box there sitting on the dash is counting them as driving and counting them as on duty and everything else, and they're off duty. They could be driving their own pickup truck. You know, so
one of the things that would really scare me the most.
You know,
one of the things that would scare me the most. I'm sorry,
go ahead,
John.
You're in sync.
You
know, you're in sync.
No, there's just one of the things that really would scare me and worry me the most is finding out where Tete and Wee Wee would go to and where they would stop half the time, and we don't really want to find that out. So, in any case, go ahead, John.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. No, I was gonna say what's disgusting about us being forced to use ELDs is the fact that the FMCSA had already declared that the old hours of service rules were ineffectual. They didn't work. Then 15 years later, after they made new hours of service rules, are declaring those don't work. So now they're holding their feet to the fire on the hours of service rules, while the ATA and the FMCSA called us all cheats on our logbooks. And as far as I'm concerned, yeah, we did cheat on our logbooks, but we had to. That was one of the first things my trainer told me when I started driving trucks. He said, whatever they told you in that school, forget about it. You're gonna figure out real world work here, and those laws don't work. Well, I'm going to show you how you can make things jive, be safe, and be productive at the same time. You know, so we've been hazed by authorities or people in large organizations saying that we're a bunch of outlaw truck drivers. We were cheating on our logbooks, and shame on us. We've been ridiculed and run down for it. And the fact of the matter, twice, not once, but twice, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration already admitted that the hours of service rules don't work. So where do they get off telling us that we have to follow the rules if they admit they don't work? They're the ones causing people to die out there on the roads. They're the ones forcing truck drivers to drive under unrealistic regulations that are ineffectual by their own admittance, not us. We're not accusing them of that. They said that. It blows me away, man. It blows me clear out of the water.
What was that report that you recently found not too long ago about the GAO, for instance, because of the responsibility among where the truck drivers themselves or even within the GPS manufacturers themselves? Let people know about that one, because that was a very interesting find that you had on that one, John.
I'm trying to recall this one. You have to give me more detail or something on this. What was it about?
Well, basically, the GAO has also passed the buck of responsibility over to us as well as to the manufacturers of the GPS technology in itself, and then basically it said, you know, we're held responsible for the functioning and the operation of the system itself, not the government that basically implemented the system against us.
Right. Well, I think what you're getting at is what they've done is the GAO had pointed out the privacy issues with the ELDs, and that they in fact violate our constitutional rights and privacy. I can't remember exactly which report that was in, but they had pointed something to that effect out. And my take on it is what the FMCSA has done, or the federal government has done, is they transgressed that through regulatory process by saying any manufacturer of the device must. That's what it was. GAO had pointed out that they must protect the driver's privacy with them. And what they've done as far as regulation or law goes is they've pointed out that the manufacturer must make them to protect the driver's privacy. So basically they're just passing the buck along instead of saying how. And, I've got reports here. I read one last week. They admit that they can be hacked. And if they can be hacked, that means your privacy is at risk. Proprietary information, right, is your personal information about you. Stuff like your Social Security number, your driver's license, or anything that's in that box that the company requires you to put in there is available to anybody that can hack it. That's your private information. That is your information that's not supposed to be hackable. So whether it's the government is tracking you, or a corporation is tracking you, or some scumbag that wants to rob the truck or cause damage, as the FMCSA likes to call them, a bad actor, then they're exposing your private information, whether it's directly by the government or not. Therefore, it is a government violation. LaTanya Mims was doing 2017 at GATS. She was questioned while doing a listening session in regards to the Fifth Amendment, self-incrimination, because these things are admissible. Any information, even your paper logbook, is admissible in a court of law. But the difference between this and paper was we could put what information we wanted on that paper. Okay, and I'll just blatantly say it just like that. That's what we did. Now, with the ELD, it's all loaded up in there. It's tracking you. There's no way you can control the information that's going in there. This is admissible in court. Therefore, you by certifying that thing, by using that thing, you are violating you are being forced to violate your Fifth Amendment rights. You're being forced to present evidence against yourself. That's self-incrimination. And when questioned about that, her response was, well, you can't avoid self-incrimination by using an electronic logging device. So they're admitting they're violating your rights, more or less.
Yeah, but they're flipping it back to you because you self-certify it. When you self-certify the use of that unit, when you use that unit to the rental to the agreements, when you get that unit, and you agree to all those little rules that they've got put in there for privacy and all that, you're actually giving up your rights. And the only thing the FMCSA, I found this out myself from the FMCSA, that the FMCSA is not pushing, to certify an ELD. It's up to the company, it's up to the driver to certify the ELD. So when they put that self-certify up there, and you agree to the terms under the law, under the certification laws, the person that's got that ELD that bought it is responsible for it. The government just says it's a mandate.
Speaking about pure violation that we'll be having coming on the airwaves in 2 seconds, and one thing that I'm really more afraid of when I'm driving, of course, in the highways, finding out where this man would probably stop at. And, of course, we have Mr. Kate, who is actually coming here to invade our actual airwave. Mr. Kate, Mr. Taylor Barker, are you on, my brother from another mother?
He is. I've been seeing him here. Let me see. I got to unmute him.
Why did you?
If he wants to speak, he didn't queue to come in. But if you want to speak, Tate, you're on mute. So come on in. What's going on? How's it going?
Well, we were scared to find out what you were
about something.
Go ahead, brother.
I just wanted to let Ted Williams know, because I know that sounds just like Ted Williams.
It is. It's Ted Williams from Channel 19.
He can't disguise that.
That's right. Hey, Ted, I just wanted to tell you that those ads that you get on the internet when you're, working on the internet with something and you get an ad, them ads are only related to places you visited. So if you're bitching about porn ads coming up on your phone and stuff like that, there's only one reason why that ad came on your phone. It's okay,
That's
Ted.
the algorithm.
We still love you. We still love you, Ted. It's okay that you look at those places.
They could put me a Coors Light Rocky Mountain ad on it there right after that, man. That'd feel better. Or play me a good Bill Weaver song or something after it or something.
And second, the violation. I wanted to comment on the violation part. Now, I ain't a lawyer, but I know one. Actually, I know two. Maybe it's a three. But I know a guy that I trust that's went to law school, and but he ain't a lawyer. In fact, he may have his doctorate from the University of the Flying J, Party Row. I don't know, but the guy's pretty smart. He's a fart smeller. I mean, a smart feller. But this whole giving up your rights, and Ted, I do agree with you on that. This whole giving up your rights, okay, on the ELD, the self-incrimination stuff. You know, it's really, I don't really consider it violating my rights, like in my particular case. It is, but it ain't, because I knew the ELD was in my truck when I got the job, and I didn't have to take the job. And that's what I think they're going to argue about the violation of the rights, is you knew it was there before you ever took the job, whether it's paper or a computer. And I think that's the argument they're going to have, and they're going to be right. I mean, I did know about mine. Now, as far as the driver-facing camera, I'm going to tell you something. There ain't no camera going in my truck, brother, except the ones I put in here.
Nope. We definitely don't want to see any views of what that camera may produce. That's the one thing we want to make sure of, too, as well.
I might be back there pudge spanking or something. I don't want nobody watching me.
I have
one
had
time,
one of those rear-facing cameras.
You realize, wait a minute. You guys realize when you're talking about cameras in your truck, and you're not going to have a camera in your truck, think about what you're saying, because a lot of those ELDs, and I've seen them, have cameras built into them. Whether you realize they're on or not, you probably never know. They do have cameras built into them. In fact, I'm looking at a post on one of these group pages where this guy's complaining that they would not dispatch him because, according to his camera, he didn't sleep last night. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, because this isn't a news article.
I got
this is his statement. So,
one at a time, guys. One at a time. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Taylor.
I said I got a piece of tape over mine. I ain't having it. I didn't sign up for that, and I won't agree to that. Now, this thing's probably recording what I'm saying. Oh, yeah, this thing's probably recording what I'll say, but and if it is, hold on a second. AELD, be sure to tune in to the Fubar America radio show every Thursday night from 7 p.m. Eastern Time to 9 p.m. right here on the Hammerlane Network. How about that?
And we can't forget about the Tuesday Wee Wee Show that's on at 8 to 10 on Wednesday nights. And we can't forget about Channel 19 that's on Tuesdays, 8 to 10 also. So you got 3 shows to tune into. In all fairness, we give great appreciation to myrightload.com, my friends.
And this segment of the show is brought to you in part by J.B. Hunt. In a world where 2 truck drivers fall in love, located at the foothills of Brokeback Mountain, J.B. Hunt Pictures presents Split Cheek Creek. Coming soon to a TV room at a J.B. Hunt terminal near you.
Oh, gosh. We just had a preacher on this line, too, and we want to make sure that's a full disclaimer right there. We want no claims or no divorces between J.B. Hunt and Swift or Snyder. So everybody have their fun and be married and have a happy family out there. How about that?
Oh, yeah, I totally support it, man. And I tell you what, if they didn't like my commercial, well, by God, my name is Ted Williams, and I live in North Carolina, by God.
Say Bill Weaver supports this message, by the way. Thank you very much.
Guys, sometimes I had to refrain myself.
I guess I'm getting paid back for not listening last night.
We got another caller who would like to come in and join us. Let's go ahead. And
I'm gonna bring in Joe Alfredo.
He's in.
Here we go.
Good evening, Joe.
Hey guys, how are you?
Well, welcome to the new party line of the Fubar American Radio Show.
Am I on the air?
You are on
the air. You're not on the
Awesome.
air. Oh,
Awesome.
we could have had some fun with him. We could have had some fun with him, man. Thanks, man.
Just so as you know, in light of the previous conversation, this isn't a dating site. We're all men here. Nobody wants to be courted. So just letting you know up front.
Okay, I got you. I heard the little JB Hunt marriage thing going on there.
Well,
I wasn't sure.
Joe,
I wasn't sure if I was
support this
tuned in to the right.
Well,
I
I'm sure
wasn't
you could support
sure if I
this
was
message.
tuned in.
I would say you could support this message, by the way, Joe. I just want to let you know that in Lucille Transport, it doesn't matter if it's a foo-foo on a tutu on stage. We will do it for any dollar amount we can get. That's all there is to it. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.
That is correct, sir. A foo-foo on a tutu.
Hey, you know, speaking of putting foos on a tutu, I seen a commercial this truck driver made the other day called the Fifi. Has anybody seen that?
Oh God, yeah.
Just the Fifi.
That's all I got to say about that.
You guys leave that right there. Right?
Hey, no,
PG show, guys. PG show. Keep going,
guys,
Joe. Go ahead.
The Fifi. Oh, I remember that. I did see that one a while back ago.
We're not going there, John. We're not going. We just had a preacher pray for us, and we're going to let this roll the way it should. Go ahead, Joe Afaro, please.
Well, you guys were talking about the cameras on the trucks.
Yes.
I wanted to relate my experience because I drove for a company for well over 10 years, and we didn't have these cameras before, but there's a company out there called DriveCam. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, and they have rear-facing and forward-facing cameras. And what they have is, well, they put it on, they forced it on us. Of course, as a company driver, we didn't agree to, those weren't the terms when we got hired on. But, when you're driving company equipment, there's really little to no say. Especially when you're driving in the state of Florida, where an employer has a right to, fire you at will, which is a clause in the law, at will employment. But anyways, besides that, the DriveCam, as a company came in there, they installed these things called the DriveCam, and they still have them on their trucks. I still talk to some of my former colleagues over there, and I'll tell you, a lot of people got fired over those DriveCams. They have two sensors on the side, and anything sets it off. If the truck it's supposed to go off if the truck experiences a sudden brake. It's supposed to go off if the truck experiences a certain angle that might be a danger of a rollover, And then what they say is that it'll record 5 seconds prior to the camera going off. It's supposed to not be on 24/7, It's supposed to go off when the sensors go off, But the funny part is, when the sensors go off, they say the camera goes off for 5 seconds. It records 5 seconds prior, 5 seconds on when the camera came on, and then 5 seconds after. You get a total of 15 seconds that the camera actions. And I seen a couple of videos when we used to have the safety meetings. Like I remember a couple of them. There was one guy in Washington State. He rolled over a company truck, and it turned out that the guy came out of the rest area, was reaching into his cooler, and looking at the floor panel where his cooler was in between the seats. All right, and he put the truck in the ditch and rolled it over. Another event was something that happened down in West Palm Beach, Florida. There was one of our drivers was hauling carbon dioxide, and he got into an accident on I-95 and Forest Hills Road. If you're familiar with that area.
Yep.
He had an accident there, and it turns out that somebody cut him off. Then they have an optional button where you can click the camera on, Okay, and we were supposed to record something that wasn't safe. Okay, so the company's U.S. base. It was a French company. Okay, talking about Fufu on a Tufu, right? There was out of France. Okay, it's a French company. The company's U.S. base was out of Houston, headquartered in Houston, Texas. It's a chemical manufacturer, and
I will say one thing.
Recordings would go to a main, like a head safety guy, nationwide safety guy, for him to review the video. Then they would review the video, have your local safety guy review the video, and then have a conference with you and the people from Houston, along with some other managers and whatnot, and talk about the event that the camera recorded. And I just wanted to...
Matthew Kane actually posted on the Fubar American radio show page on Facebook, says, throw out all those types of devices right out the window.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Of course, our great sponsor from MyRightLoad.com.
Are you saying Mr. Matthew Kane is listening to your station?
He's monitoring us as we speak right now, as a matter of fact, for very good reason, especially when you came on. So I have no problem with that.
Well, folks, this segment of Fubar American Radio Show is brought to you by MyRightLoad.com, where you can eliminate the brokers.
Good promo. I like that one. Freedom is back in style. There you go. Without a doubt, with MyRightLoad.com, that can offer you the financial future directly, of course, to the source of the shipper and the receiver. MyRightLoad.com, MyRightLoad.com. Thank you very much.
What's the matter,
great sponsor.
Hey, Taylor, isn't your number one working tonight? Because our ones are working.
No, last night it wasn't working because somebody said I was cutting out, and I used two cell phones. I got two cell phones. So last night what I did was I hung up the damn phone that I was logged in as a host, and I couldn't connect back as a host. So I couldn't play no sound bites. And so I called in the regular line on my other phone, so that's what I was actually listening through.
Oh, okay. Well, you're all the way down the bottom, so I didn't know if your one wasn't working again or not.
Well, I can tell you an interesting story when the OmniTrack system first came in, and I've actually had to deal with it for about 1 week. And it's very similar to what Matthew said. Throw out all those. Now, we're not telling nobody to throw out their devices because, for one, that's going to be extremely costly. It's against the law. We're not telling anybody to do that. But in any case, the only relative close story that I've had when it came to that, which I couldn't stand, the thing just constantly just beeped and beeped and beeped while I'm driving, while I'm trying to go to sleep. And, you know, I just had it was in Georgia, as a matter of fact. It was right actually here around Tifton, Georgia. And so the only thing I couldn't take it anymore. It was downpour raining. I rolled the window down, right outside the window, rolled the window up, and went to bed because that thing just wouldn't stop beeping all night. And I didn't care whether it had a camera or anything not. And when I got up in the morning and I rolled the window down and brought that machine back inside, now the thing was saturatingly wet. It was just water was still coming right out of it, and it still beeped.
Wow.
Well, talking about the cameras, the rear-facing cameras, I went to work for a company, I wasn't told that that's where, that they had them, or, didn't even have no experience with them at all. And I went to work for that company, and, that's when they told me, well, this camera, this camera, that, this camera's in here for this reason and that reason. Well, they didn't tell me they had a no smoking policy, so, I'm cruising down the road and I hit this bump. All of a sudden, this big old bright light comes up, pops me right in the face, right in the eyes, and I'm sitting here just lighting a cigarette, got smoke in my eyes, and I got this big light flashed in my eyes, and this red light going beep, 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 beep. And then when I came back in there the next morning, the guy plays the video back, and it's like me sitting there with a cigarette going down the road. Because he said, you were smoking in the truck. I said, how do you know? that the camera took a picture of it, and I got it. Can't be smoking in my truck. I said, well, I can't be driving your truck. See you later. You know, I told him, I said, I would never drive it again. You know, and then,
well,
you know,
we're talking about complacency, and we're talking about how apathetic I was. I didn't realize that OmniTrack machine, to be honest, had a volume button, and because that's how in tune I am with technology. So that's the reason why it kept beeping all night. So either way,
getting back to what Jim earlier with there's a DriveSmart is another one with the camera systems, and they've got a point system. So as Joe said, in this particular system, it's about 30 seconds record time. So I assume it's on a loop when it's recording, because it never records and keeps data unless there's a critical event. So when a critical event happens, you have about 30 seconds of record time. And so they put us through a class about this thing, and they got a point system. So if you're driving down the road and you're playing with the radio and the camera gets set off, there's like 30 point value because you were playing with the radio. If you happen to be playing with, have a cup of coffee in your hand, it's 30 points, or whatever the points are. I don't remember exactly what the points were. Yawning was 30 points. If you happen to be yawning and the camera goes off, you get a bump and the camera goes off, there's a point value of 30 points because you happen to be yawning at the time when that went off.
And so people saw the constitutional rights
the
away for this type of system is what they're saying. Okay, well, the seatbelt I could probably understand, but people sign away their constitutional rights for that type of thing. Because I know a lot of people that are stringent among.
Well, no, see, I disagree with that. I really do. I
do
take
disagree
exception to that.
To
the
be
reason
honest,
why
yeah,
is because you have to work. You are held. You are bound by your job. I'm sorry. You work as a means to survive. You don't work because you want to help this guy get rich. You don't work because you're a really nice guy and you want to see this business. I mean, we all want to contribute to society. That's why we take jobs. We could live like natural men in the woods and go hunt and forage. But yes,
John, do you know how do you make $1 million in trucking? No. I just want to make sure. Do you know how to make $1 million in trucking? Do you know how to make $1 million in trucking? You spend $2 million. That's the way you make $1 million. There you go. Sorry, go ahead.
So there you have it.
So yeah, but the point is, long story short, you work as a means to survive. You need a job, and most of us, that's what we're reliant on. We're trained as truck drivers. We're not trained. Some of us might be able to fall back and be a mechanics. And plenty of people, because of this issue, plenty of people have left the industry. They said, no, that's a violation of my constitutional rights, and I'm the heck out of here. I'm not doing this. And they go back to a job they can fall back on. Many of us can't do that. Many of us can't fall back on a job. Some of us, it's falling back on a job is going back to McDonald's and flipping burgers from when we were kids. We've done this for 30 or 40 years. So they are coercing us into violating our constitutional rights. They're coercing us to give up our constitutional rights.
There we go.
There's a difference.
The complacency and the apathetic, again, comes into play all the way around. I mean, I know I was picking on your state of New Hampshire, for instance, but let's go back to what the media always wants to continue to express. And I'm not trying to change the gear on this, but I am a little bit. But now everybody is focused, instead of the caravan, but now everybody's now focused on what's going on in Florida, on the election side of things. And everybody seems to be wanting to be divided because of the news media. And then all of a sudden, nobody's realizing the irresponsibility of the way how government itself is working. I mean, we're talking 100,000 votes, ballots.
That's right.
That have just turned right up in Palm Beach County, in Broward County, just turned right up. And yet, the media continues to talk about what this person's saying, what that person's saying, but what they fail to reiterate is how did 100,000 ballots almost just appear? You're talking nearly 110% participation rate in Broward County. You're talking now Broward County, all 67 counties of Florida produce, except for one county that seems to be always been the problem since Bush and Gore election, prior to 2000. And then we had problems in 2016. Now we have problems again in 2018 in Palm Beach County when it comes to just making the tally of their votes. And within 12 minutes, just within 12 minutes of the time of the clock when they were supposed to produce among all their ballots, Broward County comes up with their full tally. But Palm Beach County had failed because, guess what? The machine counter overheated and it failed to be able to tally all those ballots. And again, we become too complacent towards the machine and technology. And now that's going to be now it's going to be a statewide hand recount going on across the state of Florida. So if we could probably send the count from Sesame Street over to Florida to help them count some ballots, I think it would be greatly appreciated right now, just to give everybody a volunteer base. Maybe you need a part-time job. Maybe send Big Bird while you're at it. You know, I mean, it might be a good gig, you know. The count, yeah. 1 ballot, 2 ballots, 3 ballots.
Well, according to the latest news on the polls, news on the polls that I heard today, you know, not trying to cut in on your show, Joe, by any way, but
you got it.
But you know, the latest news today that I heard, Nielsen, you know, he's already done for because they've already seen that those so-called ballots that are floating around, there's not enough votes in there on that race. It's the other race.
Unfortunately,
they're trying to
because
hold
of the
tight.
state law. Unfortunately, because of state law in Florida, which already Palm Beach County and Broward County had already violated, to be honest, and they violated a court order. But because there's still Governor Rick Scott, who will be senator, let's just put it that way, but there's a 12,000 vote deficit basically involved. That makes it below the 0.5%. So unfortunately, there's already lawsuits that are flying between both campaigns. And what happens now is under state law, they have to do a hand manual recount across the board in all 67 counties, all 68 counties. So now they have to actually do a recount. And then they have a time limit on when they can possibly do that recount. Governor-wise, that's already been settled. Thank God, to be honest, because I was really almost ready to pack my bags and move to Texas real quick if we had Gilliam as our governor. I'm sorry to say, but that's the truth. So I hope Texas will welcome me, but that was almost a very close call. And I know my wife doesn't know that, but yet, you know, I had the truck and trailer ready to go. So in any case, that's what's basically happening right now. So Senate-wise, the state of Florida, because of technology and because Palm Beach County can't seem to make their count right, and they've had this problem for well over 2 decades, to be honest. And I have to be very honest, part of that responsibility did fall on Governor Rick Scott, as well as under Pam Bondi. I don't mean to label this, but it's the truth. Because if they've had problems back in 2016, they've had problems even prior to 2016, action should have been taken. Somebody should have been replaced as the supervisor of elections, as well as the fact that even legal action should have been taken among Broward County supervisor of elections as well. We're talking about ballots that were just basically, poof, gone, disappeared, went into the fire, went up to the smoke, and then 100,000 ballots just all of a sudden mysteriously appear. This is our government, my friends. If we don't become realistically aware of what's happening, and I know this seems to be apparent to my great state of Florida, and I love my Florida. I don't really intend to leave Florida, so don't worry about it, Miss Honeybadge. We're not leaving. But, you know, in any case, the truth of the matter is, if we become too complacent and unaware of the circumstances of what's going on, not only in our industry but politically, then we're just going to allow an entire government embodiment to basically run our entire free electoral process, as well as even our lives that we daily run and how we run it and when we run it. You see, I don't care about disclaimers that the ELD system itself makes us realistically sign. I know that with my ELD system, if there's a disclaimer, I believe in my constitutional right above the disclaimer. I'm sorry, I don't sign away my constitutional rights, period. Okay, I believe in freedom, and I believe every individual has the right of the freedom. I think the Constitution will supersede among any law, period, when it comes to that, and that's how it's supposed to be. So whether if it's a violation basically among our Fifth Amendment rights, among our personal privacy and self-incrimination, as well as even our property rights, we're forgetting about one other very important thing, the violation of the Fourth Amendment of due process. You are innocent until therefore proven guilty. And it violates even the 14th Amendment of the Constitution under naturalization of law of each citizen, that they are due for due process in itself. And if you can't believe that, read the Constitution yourself, my friends, and understand that I don't mean to become a Facebook lawyer, but we will have a lawyer on the show very soon to actually help explain these actual facts and matters. Now, does government have a right to honestly have the embodiment of departments to be able to run in regulations? Yes, they do, unfortunately. Section 1, Article 18 of the Constitution actually states that. But the fact is, should that embodiment overreach among its rule of our personal liberty or rights in general? Should it affect among our free enterprise? Should it affect on how we basically should work and how we should actually live our lives freely at home like we should? And should we allow ourselves to become more complacent among a system that will always continuously placate among our minds into technology that should take over among our ability as human beings and as conscious and our free thought? I didn't mean to get real serious on that rant, but you guys can go right ahead.
No, I think it was interesting that you talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was interesting how you had talked about. Well, you were saying our government has no right to infringe upon your constitutional rights, regulatory agency or otherwise. Really, I mean that your Constitution is the supreme law of the land. There's no law that supersedes it. And when questioned during the Ojeda court case, what was it in 2015 or 16? The response in the briefing was that truck drivers should not have the same expectation of constitutional rights as other members of society because they are heavily regulated. Now, that blows me away to hear that or read that because we're still citizens of the United States. How do you discriminate against a person just because of their job choice?
Well, the really big problem is our media itself, and our media is one of the problems that continuously divides and not realistically give us the real news and real facts like it should. I know a lot of people see my most favorite person that speaks, and still he's back in action. Thank God for that. Is Bill O'Reilly, who I love listening to, and I don't really care about whatever false accusations they came up with him prior to that or whatever. That's fine, that's in the past or whatever. But still, he points this out to what many people would say. Do we still live among a free society, or do we still live as an apathetic society? I mean, Blockbuster, for instance. Everybody should remember, I'm not that old, but where did Blockbuster make most of its money from? Just a question.
Basement dwellers?
No, it made most of its money from. It made most of its money basically from people that would turn in their movies late.
Oh.
The bulk of its money would be made from people who turn in their movies late until technology came in play, and nobody even had to go to the store. Yeah. Because everybody would say, we got this video for one day. Now, this is the same thing with the Red Box. Okay? After so much amount of time, you're just going to be recharged for the rental again. So many people would say, I'll go tomorrow. Or I'll go the next day. And before you know it, you bought the video because you've had it for so long sitting in your house. So where do they make their money from? They don't make their money just from the dollar rental. They make the majority of their money because we as a society just say, we'll wait till later on. We'll forget it. Next week, and then next week. And we allow things to keep compiling. And then we allow the problems to realistically occur. Now, look, MAP 21 came out in 2012. There were many people that called for us to come into action. What happened? Myself, as well as many others, didn't come into fruition until just about when it came into law in December. We live, unfortunately and sadly, under a very apathetic, complacent society. And that's one of the things that we have to realistically try to help avoid, to inform and advocate.
And
just a point.
I want to point out something, too, on the MAP 21 deal. That was done under the old administration, not naming names, just whoever's kept up with politics knows who the old administration was. They
it was Senator Micah.
Through and then it was put under a infrastructure bill that Trump needed signed to start infrastructure on the highways to build our infrastructure. and then it got signed, but it sat there for 4 years. For 4 years, this has been battled and not hit Congress. It stayed on the floor and been battled. Come down to actual doing infrastructure bills, it was slid in there. The same thing they tried to do with the Denham Amendment, and they tried to put it through the airplane transportation, the ATA. So, this is how our government, that's why you watch who you vote for. That's just my thoughts. Not holding Fubar to that. That's my thoughts. That's my disclaimer.
Right. And you know what? John Grosser supports that message. There you go. Thank you very much. Any case, I mean,
it was your 112th Congress, and it was a Republican that introduced Map 21 into the House, and he had put in there that it started out with the electronic logging devices, as I recall.
It was Senator Micah out of my home state of Florida again, and I do apologize for that, but this is true. I don't want people to really get to the position of thinking that we're anti-Republican or anti-Democrat. Myself personally, as well as I'm sure many of us on the show here, like myself, I'm a non-registered partisan voter. Okay, I believe in truth. My stand basically comes down to this: constitutional freedom and true conservatism. If the Republican Party really stood among true conservatism, then we would have less government, lower taxes, and stronger military. But unfortunately, that has not been among the recent history of what a Republican Party. Now, the Democratic Party is supposed to represent the working class, blue-collar individual and helping them to have the opportunity to lift themselves up. But unfortunately, they're more supported on the other side of a lobby, and they're more supported among corporations as well. And this is what makes it really sad. And they believe among the expansion among government to be among a mass embodiment to really take over and say, we have the aspect. Just recently, out of this embodiment right now, and TruckersUnitedForFreedom.com page, John, you posted about how the USDA within 7 years, the USDA states that now there will be no more menthol cigarettes allowed to be distributed or here in the United States. There'll be a complete menthol ban on cigarettes, including vapes.
Yeah, I think it was 5 years, and they want to eliminate menthol cigarettes, and they want to eliminate flavored vapes. And the reasoning for that is to reduce the nicotine addiction in the country. In other words, they want to take the fun out of it so you won't smoke.
Some people will be fine with that because it's actual cigarettes. But understand this. What are the next steps that government would take when they would go so far as taking that first step? Remind yourselves of one thing, my friends. Anything that government institutes, it's like a spoon-fed measure, just bringing in little by little for the masses to realistically try to accept. And I know one thing. I'll be very upset. I'll be very upset when menthol cigarettes are going to be out of circulation.
Hey, backing up to what you said earlier, I was just reading this article. It said 53,000 dead people have voted on Florida's polls.
This has been happening rampantly, almost in every state across the country. And this is the thing where we're just not even being aware of, and what is being done about it. Poor Miss Arlene, her great husband had found out that her husband had voted Democrat, and he passed away. God rest his soul. And it's very shameful that she had to find this out a year later, that her husband had voted on a Democratic ticket, and he's been a Republican for all his life, I'm assuming. Am I correct, Miss Arlene? I guess we lost her. Okay.
No, I'm here. I had to come back in the room. Yeah, he passed away in 2008, but in 2012 he voted straight Democrat, and I know he rolled over in his grave on that one. And I got signed documents by the election board that he voted. And the excuse was, oh, somebody pressed the wrong button.
Well, guys, what are you done about it? We have a I just shared your radio show page, and hopefully he'll be tuning in and maybe even calling in. But while I was thinking about it, if you don't mind, I'd like to shamelessly plug Shane from Trucker Stick. He just sent me a message saying that I should be getting my trucker sticks tomorrow to give away on our radio show, which means you should be getting yours tomorrow to give away on your show.
Excellent. And Trucker Stick is a great product, by the way. We really appreciate him very much on that one. Yeah.
I just wanted to shamelessly.
No, that's not shameful at all. No, I'm proud of that. No,
that was a good idea.
No,
that was a good idea. You know.
Yeah, that was.
I used to have one of those squeegees out of the kitchen that you get for your kitchen counter. I bought one of those, and I used to clean my mirrors with that years ago. We're talking about back in 2009. And I never thought that to manufacture something that would work around the convex mirrors and everything, that would it'd be a sellable item. You know, it never even occurred to me. I was used to using a squeegee trying to clean my mirrors, and obviously the straight edge didn't work so well on the convex mirrors. And he designed something apparently that works over the convex mirrors as well. It does an excellent job. I think that's an awesome idea.
What do people invent and manufacture items like this for? You know, for profit. But it's really nice to know that people like Shane, who, yes, he's in it for profit. That's obviously the reason why you manufacture something. But he has given so many of these to charity, to auction off. And, he just gave me a dozen of them. He gave JoJo a dozen of them. God knows how many he gave to St. Christopher's Fund to auction off for the auctions, you know, and God knows how much money these things have raised, because people, when they're being auctioned, will pay triple, you know, just to be given to the auction and get something in return. And and he's made a huge difference, you know, and this product has made a huge difference, you know, in people's lives as far as money being raised because of this product. Plus the person that gets to use it doesn't have to sit sideways with a big old long stick at the gas pumps, you know. It's a great product, and I fully support it. And I've got one myself personally. I keep it in my truck. Got it in my hand right now, looking at it. And it's just a great product. And I'm thankful that when Shane called in, he said, you know, I'm gonna give you a dozen of them to give away. You know, just give them away. You know. And I was like, well, that's nice. And I said, but I got a friend that has a radio show. Well, I'm gonna send him a dozen too. You know, just a great guy, Trucker Stick. Y'all check him out.
Can never more appreciate that, especially
he got
because
a website?
I mean that's for St. Christopher's. Yeah, he's got a full website and everything. He donates to St. Christopher's Fund, and he actually I think he puts personalized logoing on there too. Does he, by any chance?
If you want it, sure does.
On there,
sure does.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
TRUKR STIK.
And we want to let everybody know, especially on the Hammer Lane Broadcast Network, throughout all the shows on Channel 19 on Tuesdays, on Wednesdays, of course, the Tay and Wee Wee Show, and, of course, here on the Fubar American Radio Show, we always want to help and support small businesses, that we will always be available for anybody to come on board, talk about, and we'll help promote it as well, as long as, you know, there's a fair exchange, just, you know, to be able to help our fellow brothers and sisters out there with good information and knowledge and understand. And we can never be more appreciative, especially we're more appreciative to two of our great advertisers that have just joined the Hammer Lane Broadcast Network. Of course, MyRightLoad.com, my friends. MyRightLoad.com is a terrific service. And now they've rolled out a new program that can never make it ever more easier for you guys to come on in and have direct freight from the shippers and the receivers, $27 per load, zero transaction fees, zero sign-up fees, zero membership fee, only flat $27 per each load that you can get through MyRightLoad.com, my friends. Like I said, financial freedom is finally back in style. Join MyRightLoad.com, my friends. They are a great supporter of all three of our shows. And we now have even a new sponsor that we can never be more honored and appreciative of, LabsWorksUSA.com, my friends. LabWorks USA makes sure that you are within your drug consortium and full compliance. They are nationwide. They have over 10,000 locations to ensure that you will be within your full drug consortium compliance out there. $49.95 for the full 1-year membership, my friends. We can never appreciate it. You can look them up online, labworksusa.com. Telephone number for labworksusa.com is 1-888-582-8001. We can never be more appreciative for both of our great advertisers for joining among our Hammer Lane family. We know Matthew Kane, who has started the Hammer Lane Broadcast Network. We can never be more appreciative of having an outlet of being able to speak freely as we do. And like I said, my friends, I've been continuously picking among New Hampshire and Florida, and not to change gears on this one, but what do you all think about John Acosta's picking basically on Donald Trump during that press conference meeting?
I think he should have been thrown out just like he was. And I'm going to tell you something, like Donald Trump or not, like Donald Trump or not, okay, he's the president of the United States of America. And
not John Acosta,
and his
Jim Acosta, by the way. Sorry. Go ahead.
When Donald Trump is speaking, okay, reporters sit back and shut up and take notes and report what he says, not debate him. Okay, that's not a Donald Trump debate. That's a Donald Trump press conference. That's where reporters listen and ask questions. And when they ask said questions, Donald Trump moves on to the next one. And I'll say this even under President Obama, which I was not a big fan of. But the man was president of the United States of America. I don't have to like him. But when he's speaking as president of the United States of America, you shut up and you listen. He's the president. He's the leader of our country. And to not do that, okay, what are you saying to the American public? What are we setting a standard for? Are we setting a standard? What's the sense of having leadership if we don't respect leadership?
Well, here's my take on that one.
How barbaric would this country be? How barbaric would our country be if it's in today's times that it's okay to disrespect? How does a leader lead?
Well, I scarily agree with like almost 90% of what you're saying right there, and that's kind of scary because dabbling into your mind is really very scary right there, especially when you guys are together. So I just wanted to say that. But either way, no, because I really do agree. I mean, look, I believe in the freedom of press. I believe in the freedom of speech, and I can understand when a reporter should ask a question, it should be among respect as the president of our free nation or free leader, and the fact but it should never be hindered among asking that question or even to ask a follow-up question. The fact is, Jim Acosta actually disrespected the president wholeheartedly when he did not ask a question. He came forward among a debate, and he basically put facts. He tried to say that he iterate by facts, but how do you know among those facts? You can always ask, well, why, Mr. President, did you not go in this direction instead of that direction? And there may be some times which if he can express his opinion, but if that be the case, then he should have an opinion show on CNN. What do you think, John?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I was busy doing something, but let you know now that audio is not going to load up tonight for us. We're going to be out on that one. And we do have another person in queue that would like to come in. I don't know who it is, so
please bring him in.
How about we bring them in and see what they'd like to talk about?
We got 17 minutes left on the show. Yeah.
All right. Last four digits of your phone number, 9080. Announce yourself, who are you, and what would you like to talk about?
Hey, guys. This is Shane Schindler with Trucker Stick. How are you?
Hey,
Hi,
Shane. How you doing?
Well,
brother?
how are you doing? I just posted
hey, guys, I don't want to.
Website.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead. Oh, I just tell you, I just Fubar group page, so people would know how to find you.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just wanted to hop on and say thank you guys for the plug in there, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. I'm not a big corporation like most of these people. just a truck driver like the rest of you guys, so it's hard to get the word out. So I appreciate everything like that.
Well, Shane, we want you to remember us when you become a big corporation, and remember the little people that, especially in the times when we need like $1 million or something like that, we can borrow from you, perhaps, maybe. And
we need financing.
Well, I don't ever imagine getting to that point, to be honest. I couldn't imagine. But
I just want you to know that when you become big, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to say, hey, do you remember me as a friend, or I'm your family member? It's like winning the lottery, so I just want to let you know that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I actually met Shane down there. I met Shane in Dallas at the truck show. We were playing down there, and Shane came up to me, and we met, and he told me who he was, what he was about. He gave me one of his trucker sticks to try out, and I really appreciated that. But most and foremost, when I see people, and I've been in this for a pretty good while, coming up with a product, they're down there to make money. Very few of them are interested in donating their time or their products. And Shane was like, hey, whatever you need, let me know. And I just thought, for a young man starting out a brand new thing, what a way to, he's giving back before he ever got, you know what I'm saying? And I just thought that was really awesome of him. And Shane, I thank you for that. You done gave back more than what you got.
I appreciate that, Taylor. Honestly, believe it or not, I made this for myself, and my intentions from the beginning were not to make money. It was I just wanted it. I got sick of wiping my mirrors off all the time, and I just there's got to be a way to make a squeegee for these, So I
well,
you know, man.
That's the true entrepreneurial spirit that we really love, and we want everybody like that to come on board, because products like that took in time, amount of money, and you put a lot of investment and heart into that, and it's a great product because not only I can use that on my convex mirror, but as you know, I got a big house too, so my wife always yells at me whenever I take a shower, and I don't ever squeegee after the shower. So now if I could use your product to do that, that'd be pretty cool. So there you go.
I had a driver tell me he bought one, and his wife got her hands on it, and he hasn't even gotten it in his truck yet. He says she's been using it around the house.
My wife would be amazed if I actually squeegeed the shower and used your truck product, your stick product. You actually go, look, honey, look how well this works.
Yeah, I have curved sliding glass. Yeah, I have curved sliding glass doors and stuff. My girlfriend, she uses it on mine. But
there you go.
It's obviously not what it's designed for, but hey, it works.
There you go.
Also, hey JoJo, I didn't have a chance to send you any out yet. If you can message me through Facebook an address so I can get them out to you, but
I will do my due diligence on that. I know how, I was home with my family. There was a lot of people that were trying to contact me. I do apologize. But when I'm home with my family and with the honey badgers with me, I haven't been home, I think, since June. And this is like the one day that I had a chance because we had a show down in Miami, and I said I had one day off to be home. And, of course, the honey to-do list, including the squeegeeing of the shower, was up on the top of the list. And I was working on my truck. And next thing you know, when, my wife and family and, Billy Olson, my good friend, we were at Mission Barbecue. And we sat, just before we sat on the table, I get the buzz that I had to run myself back to Miami to move a trailer by 10:30. And it was just like, sometimes I just don't like my life. That's all I can tell you.
Hey, believe me, man. We all get crazy busy. I understand.
But we're all truck drivers. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say anyway. I appreciate you guys plugging me in and everything you've done, and get a hold of me and let me know. And I'm gonna sit back and listen to the pros here.
Thank you, brother. We really appreciate it. That's a great product. Why don't you tell them online how they can get it online as well? I don't have the website in front of me.
Our website is truckerstic.com, TRUKRSTIK. We currently have 22 retailers. There's a retailer list on the site. which needs updated. It doesn't have. We have 595 truck stop in Florida also, and a big one. We just added the Davy Crockett TA there, I-81 exit 36 in Greenville, Tennessee. So
great truck stop.
Check out the list.
Great truck stop.
Yeah, stop by and if there's not one on there near you, there will be in January. It's as much as I can say about that.
This is going to be a great product, guys, I tell you, because I see a lot of times when we go to venues into these really tight corners and spots that we always have to have a radio guy behind us and a guy in front of us looking out to make sure we don't hit no property or our trucks. And mostly, like 99% of the time, I always see somebody with a rag or a paper towel with the regular glass cleaner, and they would spray it on their mirrors and they wipe it down. And normally, there's always a lot of streaks that come out of it. This product resolves that, makes it quick and easy. You just spray whatever you got on any type of glass cleaner and you just squeegee it down, and it's curved to be able to handle your convex mirrors as well. So it's a terrific tool. It's needed and necessary, and I think that's where my GPS always wants to try to chime in between while I'm trying to do a shameless promo for you. So I do apologize for that. But either way or not, any case, it's not shameless, guys. It's a tool, and that's what we always want to try to reiterate. It's having a tool to use on the road to help you rather than having something that would control you. And that's where we're against the ELD mandate. And sometimes we're against the Tay and Wee Wee show as well because they always try to control everybody. So there you go. So.
Okay, gentlemen, we got 9 minutes, and take it away.
Well, guys, listen, I got to jump out of here. I got to get to rolling here in a second. JoJo, I'll call you later. And
all right,
guys,
brother.
Thanks a lot again for all your support with the Tay and Wee Wee show. You know, you have our 100% support. We love you guys, and I encourage anybody listening to program the phone number that you got in your phone that you made this call with, and every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, man, escape from reality and come and visit Ted, myself, and Bill Weaver, John Grosner, and JoJo Beretta, and you got 3 awesome nights of great radio, and love you guys, love you, Ted, and Ted, I'll call you too as well. I need to talk to you about something. Anyway, we'll catch y'all later, and love you guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate it. Back at you, my
Good
friend.
night,
We have a great family. And, I know I should have done this earlier, but I always want to try to be able to reiterate to everybody out there. Telephone number for Hammerlane Radio is 646-668-8673. If you could share that with as many people to come on board the show, we would greatly appreciate it. And for those that will be on next week, we're still debating whether we're going to be on next Thursday, to be honest, because that's Thanksgiving. And I ain't going to lie, the tryptophan might get to me, so that will be probably one very interesting show. Or if not, my wife will probably get to me because I'm on the show on Thanksgiving, which would probably be very hard, and that's a very complex situation. And I'm watching 3 trucks right now try to back into this one spot again, and it looks like a total circus over here in Tifton, Georgia, by the way, guys. And I've seen one truck try to back into a very easy spot that I couldn't understand why he couldn't get in, but it goes to show you how important training is so absolutely desperately needed in this industry, because it scares the heck out of me with this guy doing about 5 tries to get into this one spot that he's got 2 spots open right now in front of me. And that's one of the great reasons of why I really am a great and proud supporter for trucksforvets.org, my friends, because trucksforvets.org is going to be a school for our veterans that are in so desperate need and that should always receive every benefit that they get possible and beyond, because we can never forget the great service that they do here and abroad. I am a very proud member for trucksforvets.org. It will be a training facility that we're trying to open up in the Columbus, Ohio area, and it will be among great benefit for their great service and dedication that they always commit to. And we can never be more appreciative. They will not have to utilize not one single penny of their GI Bill money whatsoever, my friends, for this training, and it could be up to 6 months and beyond with whatever company they choose to work for, whether it be regional, local, or even OTR. Don't forget, my friends, we've got to give great appreciation to truckernation.org for all of the great, hard, and dedicated work that they do. We got to give them as much support. They're actually in D.C. almost at least once a month, trying to do whatever they can to fight constitutionally for our absolute great rights, and we got to give them the great support that's needed and necessary. And we can only thank Tony Justice, Andrea Marks, Ingrid Brown very much for everything we're going to do. And John, I'm going to give you a shameless plug as well. Please go on truckersunitedforfreedom.com, my friends. It brings great thinking, which is very vital and very important among our industry. For the future among our industry is what is very important. And we can never be more thankful for all of the great sponsors, for MyRideLoad.com, my friends, for LabsWorkUSA.com, and for the Trucker Stick. Am I correct on that, John? Help me out here.
Yeah, it's Trucker Stick.
The Trucker Stick, thank you. I apologize. We will be giving those away very soon and shortly as soon as I pass the information on. It's a great tool, great supporter. We can never be more thankful among that. And I think we are about, 5 minutes down to the countdown? I want to make sure I have my timing right.
Left.
Yeah,
okay.
JoJo. Would you like to push up next Thursday to 8 or 9 o'clock? Because, Thanksgiving is a time with the family.
We're going to be debating that.
Yeah, we'll make an announcement on Fubar group page and such, but I think we might carry over to Friday's got an open slot. We may just do it that way because it's a holiday and people should enjoy their family time and be with the ones they love and,
Yeah, we were thinking about that one. So, it won't be on Thursday next week, guys. I think we're going to try to do it on Friday. I think it'll be much better. John, you have that great song from Bill Weaver queued up by any chance, my brother?
I do. We'll go ahead and play that, I guess, and then Miss Arlene can do the closing song, and I guess we'll be through.
Are you doing No America Left?
Absolutely.
That'll be the one.
Song.
We're going to do Bill Weaver's No America Left.
Okay, that's what we got on here. Is that what you want played now?
Yeah,
Yes.
If you don't mind, I'm going to play it out. But, before we leave, my friends, like I say, on every single show that we do, we end it always with a great salute to our military, law enforcement, firefighters, and to our great first responders, and with absolute great appreciation and dedication to each and every single one of you out on the road. Be safe, my friends. Be blessed among your journeys, and we always will be thankful for each and every mile. Remember, the most important mile is the mile that takes you home. Good night, everybody, and we appreciate all your time. Good night, John, and good night, Arlene. We appreciate everything you do.
Okay, good night, guys.
Good night, everyone.
I said, friend, let me get that for you, as he rolled his wheelchair toward the door of the restaurant I was going in. I helped the old fella through the door. I could see that his hat said he served in World War II. I shook his hand and said, friend, let me buy dinner for you. He said, son, I wish everyone felt like you do. I watched a tear roll from his eyes. He said, grace. And as he sat there and he talked to God, my heart was in my throat. As I heard him ask, we'd all find a better way. And he said, if we keep on going the way we're going, we're headed for hell on a fast train, not knowing how we got there or how we're gonna come back. They've taken the U right out of the USA and broke the right arm off of the Statue of Liberty. Put out the torch that lights our way. Then they say that it's all politically correct. Help us stand up now, God, or there won't be no America left.
He said, son, for God and country, I lost my legs on Omaha Beach. But that's nothing compared to what thousands lost till we continue being free. Once again he said, well, if we keep on going the way we're going, we're headed for hell on a fast train, not knowing how we got there or how we're gonna come back. They're stomping and burning our stars and stripes, not giving a damn for the sacrifice of life that protects that very right. Yet they say it's just the way that they protest. Help us stand up now, God, or there won't be no America left. No America left.